Love.
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 Care.
Love.
Love.
Sex.
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 Damnation.
Dance.
Dhamaka.
Danger.
Darkness. दिमाग खराब है.
Tishkow.
दारू.
Desperados.
Destruction.
This is the LSDcast, India's first podcast about love, sex, and dating.
Rogue. It's me. Guess who?
Hi, Prem. Fancy finding you here on this podcast that we host together every week.
How? She's so smart. I don't even know how she guessed that.
Oh
but
my
yes,
God,
it's me. It's
snorting with
Prem.
laughter. Most people think we giggle too much on our podcast because we are so goddamn funny to each other, to ourselves.
Yes, we are. It is true.
Yeah, I think I'm really funny.
We
I
just
think
find
we're
each other really
so
funny.
Good. I hope our listeners...
I think Prem and Rogue have a very decent sense
We've got
of
our
humor.
minds in the gutter. What are you saying? And that's why we're perfect for the Love, Sex, and Dating podcast, where we give you advice. Because we're not experts
Yes, we
at
are.
all. But hey, we're feminists, we're non-judgmental mostly, and we're real, right?
Yes, we are. And we always try to say it how it is, which is our USP. I mean, it's one of the USPs. We have so many that we could just, a whole show could go into just highlighting those points, but we don't want to do that.
So just to set up this show, we've got a question about dating in the US versus dating in India from an expat who's moved here and is really confused by the landscape of nuances and like what's acceptable and what's not. But before that, let's have some transatlantic exchange of notes, Prem. Tell our listeners what you've been up to.
Well, I had a pretty interesting weekend. I went to one of those fancy LA parties, and a buddy of mine was visiting LA for a couple of days, so I took him to an event. It was really funny, actually, Rogue, because I was being courted by an elderly gentleman and an elderly lady at the same time.
Ooh, together? Like they were together and they wanted you to join them?
Oh, no. They hated each other. They were not together. They were just on my left side. There was this elderly gentleman, must have been in his 50s.
Sugar daddy? Oh, elderly?
Totally. And the lady must have been in her late 40s. And my buddy was having such a laugh because we were both a few drinks down.
Nice.
And everything was just like so funny. So
who did you go home with?
Neither.
Did they go home with each other? You should have set them up.
I should have, yes. They would have killed each other.
No, he clearly wanted a man and she clearly wanted a man. So he wasn't going to be into her.
No.
Tricky.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you say no?
It was very simple. I left with an excuse that I was going to go out because my friend wanted to smoke, and I never came back.
Sneaky. Oh.
Yeah, well, the party had to be continued, so we had to go somewhere else, and that was the perfect way to get out.
Leaving a trail of broken hearts and...
Hey, man, sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
I guess so. Anyhow.
What about you, Rogue? What have you been up to? Anything exciting?
I got some movies. I watched this show called The Fall. It's a BBC show. It's over. And I can't tell you how amazed I am by the character. She is so cool and so strong. Not to mention, like, basically fucking anybody she wants to in the most direct manner.
Is she as strong as Wonder Woman?
In a different way, definitely. Not lifting trucks and tanks and storming castles and cathedrals, but she's so cool. She's so cool. So she just takes what she wants, but at the same time is really compassionate and is like a mentor for all the women in the show. And it's fantastic. So ladies, gentlemen, it's Gillian Anderson. She is so sexy and so cool.
I like her already.
Yeah. But older, mature, and she talks in this like really soft, contained manner. And I'm thinking, maybe I should like...
Wasn't she in Hannibal?
Yes, she was. She was the psychiatrist. But in this one, she talks like she's really conserving energy in this really low, sexy manner. I might have to start talking like it. But I don't think I can pull it off.
I like it. I concur. I like it.
Anyway, shall we take a quick break and come back with our expat question?
Yeah, absolutely. Mr. NRI, we are ready to answer your question.
Doodles.
But after a short break.
Yes.
Hi, this is Michael Burns from Tall Tales Takeaway, India's first storytelling podcast where we feature true stories by people just like you. Find us anywhere where podcasts are found.
And we are back.
Yay!
So, this whole switch up of, I would say like not international dating, but dating on like different soil. Dating in America and dating in India are very, very different. I mean, I've done both. I feel like in the US, one is way more direct, and in India, one is more, it's all Kama Sutra, but it's all hinted towards Kama Sutra. It's not like... So I did the India dating and, the US dating. So it was a bit different dating in the US. And I can only imagine how someone from the US would feel dating in India.
I'm sure it's difficult. And we have a question actually from an expat who's moved here. We're going to call him Neil.
Love. And danger.
And Neil wrote us to ask for advice because he's been here for a bit. He recently met somebody very cool and has multiple crushes, he's clarified, and told her that he had a crush on her, would like to date her, and she disappeared. So Neil wants to know, when he's just met somebody and he really, really likes her, can I tell her I have a crush on her and would like to date her?
I think there's nothing wrong in being direct. Letting somebody know how you feel about them is always a good thing, right?
Mostly. I think it's nice to know where you stand with somebody, definitely. But there's a but, right?
But, yes, there is a but. The but is that, everybody has their own style. Like, I would never be so direct to just type out in a text or just let the person know that, hey, you know what, I have a crush on you. I would let my actions speak for it, like gestures, nuances, which would make it very evident about how I feel. It could be body language. It could be, gesturing like gifting a flower or like going for a movie, You have to also gauge the body language, the physicality. Like if you like hands touch, for example, does she like move it away or is she okay with it? All these are like beautiful little romantic little tidbits.
But you can't do that when you've just met somebody. Please do not touch me or like hold my hand if I've only met you once, okay? Like just don't fucking do it. That's stalker behavior, man.
Ooh. I don't think so, Rogi. What if someone like Ryan Gosling did that? Are you going to react the same way?
Fine. I have a double standard. Ryan, I'm here.
Hesitation.
You can touch me on the first date.
There you go. You can touch me from a mile away.
Okay.
That's what I thought.
No, but seriously, coming back to Neil's question.
So, I think there's some merit in being direct. Like you direct, somebody does not respond back at you, and boom, you know that there's nothing there in the future, right? Isn't that another way to look at it?
Well, but you're also, I think, cutting off the possibility of a future. By telling somebody that you have a crush on them, you're putting a lot of pressure on that person.
Pressure, I think, is flattering. If a girl finds out, oh, he likes me. Wow. What am I going to do with that?
Okay, so let me give you a real life example. I think.
I'm going to make him my slave.
Oh my God. Get a grip. No, I don't think a lot of girls in India are like that. There might be some, but speaking from personal experience and from like how things were when I went to school or college or even now, I feel like when somebody tells you they have a crush on you, it actually makes us feel really pressured because there's an expectation. So if you don't know how you feel about that person yet, knowing this then, so say Actually, this has happened before. Somebody told me, like the third time we met, that he had a crush on me. And my heart stopped. And I was like, what am I supposed to do with this information? Because I felt like there was an expectation now and that I didn't want to lead him on. I was still in the discovery process. I was happy to meet him again and see if I liked him. But now with that said, it changed directions and it really shook me and made me uncomfortable. So we had met a few times and I was actually able to say out loud, what do you expect me to do with that? That makes me really uncomfortable. And he was like, oh, I don't expect you to do anything about it. That's my problem. So he acknowledged that it was a thing and it was something he was dealing with, however. And of course, there's he had no expectation. His crush could have died, or I could have been like, okay, look, I'm friend zoning you, or I like you. But I was on the cusp of figuring that out myself, and I felt it was kind of unfair to suddenly have to hold this information in my head as well. So
you mentioned that it's a problem. It's like dealing with a problem. How can it be a problem? It's just somebody expressing how they feel towards you.
I know, but if you're a responsible person like I am, you sort of feel like you have to do something about it, or you don't want to lead them on or give them more expectation of something. And everybody's had unrequited crushes and loves, and it's painful. It's not all fun and games, right? When you like somebody who doesn't like you back, it's not fair. So I personally would be like, look, I don't like you that way, and I feel like it's going to make things worse for us if we hang out, and I don't want you to be tortured. So I'm going to pull the plug. That's what I would do.
I come from a different school of thought, but, I understand what you're saying right now. I actually do, because it's almost like what you're trying to say is that it kind of kills the mystery. Like, what may happen if, things just go on organically and nothing is spelled out, or there's not a flashlight been put in just one thing.
Right. Actually, you do feel like a deer in the headlights when somebody just tells you how they feel about you so directly, when you haven't made up your mind yet. So I understand why this girl ghosted, because it's hard to actually have a conversation about something when you don't know somebody well.
So, maybe there's a better way of doing this. Maybe, like I mentioned a bit before about certain gestures, go out for a movie, go out for a cup of coffee, go for a romantic...
But that's not in person. What if it's text? You've just met somebody like Neil has and you really, really like them and you want to ask them out so that you can see them again.
Okay, so you can say that, look, I really enjoyed hanging with you. I would love to see you again. Maybe we can do this, that, explore the city, do something fun. I look forward to seeing you again.
Or maybe even more direct-ish, where you can say, I had a great vibe from you, or I really enjoyed spending time with you, and put smileys or whatever.
Or you can just say, look, I had such an amazing feeling when I was with you. I fantasized about you last night.
What?
And I am ready to go, darling. I'm ready to go.
Your place or mine?
No, do not say that, Neil. Do not ever say that. Yeah, do not say that in India.
Unless you've established that you're both on the same page already, no, don't do that.
Actually, you know what? You can. Live a little. Be bold. Live on the edge. Do it.
He's already lived and she ghosted. And that's not very nice. So, Neil, I think there is some merit to a little subtlety. And you can still be honest, but not so direct. Find different ways of saying the same thing without sort of imposing your feelings on them.
Yeah, basically, instead of traveling 60 miles an hour, just travel 60 kilometers an hour.
Okay, there we go. All right, we'll be back after this break and tell you a little personal anecdote on how Prem dealt with somebody telling him something.
Something. Well, you're going to find out, so hang around.
Find the LSDcast online on Twitter and Facebook and on iTunes and the Google Play Store.
And we're back.
Yippee. We're back.
So, Rogue, what if you have been on a date with this guy? It's only been 2 weeks and you guys are chilling and he's...
2 weeks, matlab what? 2 dates? 3 dates?
3 dates. 3 dates, 4 dates. But maybe you were texting a little while before you guys met. So say you've known each other a month.
Okay.
And you guys are just chilling, chatting, and everything's going well, smooth. And then he looks at you right into your eyes and says, I love you.
Whoa.
What would you do then? What would you say to that? Like you're not in love with him. You barely know him. But he has said those 3 magic words to you. I love you. I love you. What would you say?
I think I would probably start laughing. It's just so horrible.
Really? That's very mean.
Because I'd be like, how can you be in love with me? Like, what? No. It's not been long enough. Anyway.
Oh, that's so cute. Someone will say, I love you even more now, Rogi. You're blushing. I have managed to get the color rouge on your cheeks.
Because I think it's ludicrous. Why? What would you do?
I would, considering that I've been in this situation a couple of times, I think the best the best answer is to say thank you. That's so sweet of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I mean, like, think about it. Like, what else can you say? Like, it's a...
Nice earrings. Thank you. I love your shirt. Thank you. I love you. Thank you.
I know. Exactly. No, it's a huge, not just a compliment. It's someone is expressing the innermost feeling, but you don't feel the same way. So you thank the person. You say, thank you for feeling that way. And you try not to say anything else.
What? But how can you not say anything else? Like,
but there is nothing.
Bye. The door is over there.
किसी ने बोला था कि अगर कुछ अच्छा बोलने को है नहीं ना तो बोलो ही मत.
Fair enough. Then
that's it. I mean, you just say thank you. Bye.
And then what happened? I'm curious to know. Did you see this person again or these people again?
One of them has become, actually 2 of them have become really close friends of mine.
Wow. Are they still in love with you?
So this is the thing. They love me, but they know that I'm not in love with them. And they also realize that. So they love me as a human being, as a person. They like my company. They like being in touch. And
in touch.
And yeah, so it's touch. So yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess if you own your shit and everybody knows where they stand and everybody's on the same page, then love can exist in a vacuum.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Exactly.
All right. So you guys now know what to do. If you meet somebody like Neil who tells you that they have a crush on you, be calm. Don't panic. Say thank you. And then decide if you want to get to know them a little more. And maybe you'll be best friends. Maybe you'll be lovers. Who knows?
Exactly.
Or you could just say thank you and bye.
So there you go. This is for Neil and whoever he talks to and everybody else in general. That there are always so many ways that you can deal with such situations.
Hey, and Prem and Rogue are here to guide you. Shine the flashlight in the dark so you can follow the path. Out of the wilderness.
Yes, we are. Just for you.
All right. So thank you for joining us on this episode of LSDcast with siblings Prem and Rogue, where we discuss all your deepest, darkest secrets and give you totally personal advice that we are totally not qualified to give you.
But we are very dedicated. And we are so funny.
Yes, we are. All right. Until next week, send us your questions and we will try to include you in our show. Prem, why don't you tell them where they can find us?
So you can find us on LSDcast at sonolog.com. You can find us on Facebook, on Twitter.
And send us your questions. We love getting questions.
Till next time. This is Prem and Rogue signing off.
Bye.
You've been listening to the LSDcast, where it's all about love, sex, and desi dating. With your hosts, Prem and Rogue.
A Sonolog production.